All right, Sam, are you going to bring us in?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
Yep.
I can bring us in.
Go for it.
I'm kind of feeling it today.
Okay. We're recording already. You got to hurry up.
My mic's making weird noises, dude.
Quit moving it around.
All right, please bring us in. I got scared, dude. I had a second of confidence where I'm like, I can do this.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of On Tap. We're bringing back this beautiful series that is known as Blue Collar Happy Hour. Today, we're joined with a carpenter that doesn't deal with wood, but he is what they refer to as a gentleman's carpenter. Jason Nowling, good friend of the podcast, been on here a couple times before. What's going on, man?
Well, not a whole lot, guys. How are you guys doing?
Really good.
Excellent.
We're excited to bring back Blue Collar Happy Hour and to have you on, but I think we need to start at square one.
Yeah, let's do it.
What the hell do you do, and what is the actual name for it?
So, I'm a carpenter out of Local 322. Labeled as a carpenter, but I work with sheet metal, architectural sheet metal. And like you said, I'm a gentleman's carpenter. The heaviest thing that I lift are my tool bags. I mean, when you think of carpenter, you think of guys that's banging up walls, putting on roofing and windows, doors, and shit like that. I don't do any of that. I have put in my time as a framer and
You've gone through the shits.
Yep.
You know what's up.
Yep. So now I just spend my time making everything look pretty.
So you're a carpenter that deals with no wood at all.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
That's wild to me. That goes against everything I've ever thought. I didn't even know that was possible. Yep. Now, you just finish it. So you make all the stuff look nice. You're not having to haul all the heavy shit.
Nope.
You're not having to bust your nails. What do you use? Like what's a toolkit of what you do look like?
So anybody that's watching this and they're a carpenter, they know what red and green snips are. So it's your right, left, cut snips. Those are in my pouches. Obviously, a speed square, torpedo level, tape measure, chalk line. I'm trying to think of what else. Picks. So I do a lot of fine detail work. So I got to make sure I can move panels and exterior siding without damaging panels. So because it's a finish. So I can't be swinging a hammer on it.
Did they do the other carpenters get mad at you guys for doing less of the heavy workload, if you will?
I've gotten some shit from
there's some beef there?
I wouldn't say beef. It's more of like the you walk on a job site and here comes the metal guys.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the princess. Well, that's fine. You can call me a princess. You can call me whatever you like, but I'm getting paid commercial scale no matter where I go.
Damn.
So,
yeah, I suppose that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're usually working on big structures. You probably don't do a lot of small.
Oh no.
Or do you do any residential stuff, or is it all commercial?
It's all commercial. I think the lowest I've been to the ground is actually the job that I'm on right now. It's a one level warehouse that was bought to turn into a church. But I've been on the tallest building in Minneapolis, and that's 736 feet.
Damn, so how are you getting up there? Using a lift, or are you like...
Yeah, so they got what they called swing stages. It suspends from the top of the building down and driven by a cable. So you go up and down.
On the side of the building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
Screw that.
Yep.
I'm out already. Just
Yeah,
thinking
no
about that
kidding.
gives me anxiety.
Yep.
Like, what is there to protect you on this? Like, is it just kind of a short railing around, or...
Well, there's a like a fence in, and it sits about probably waist-ish high, but there's also a safety rope that they drop down, you hook onto, you wear a harness, and it's, hopefully the shot put the ropes on the right way. And
You ever seen
Oh my
anything just
God.
crazy happen with this? Like, anyone almost fall or did fall?
Actually, crazy story, I was working on the US Bank Stadium, and I watched a dude fall off the side of it.
He was strapped on.
No,
though.
he wasn't. He was
Ooh.
I don't know if he was union. I don't know what his deal was, but I know that he was one of the window replaced guys. So
Is he one of the guys that died on it? Did he?
Yeah,
He died.
Oh yeah, he hit the ground and he was not.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
You
Did
saw this all go
You saw
down?
the impact?
Well, I didn't see the impact. I just seen him, and then next thing I know, didn't see him screaming, and then I could see him going because I could look through the
glass.
Yeah, and I could see him trying to smash his way through, trying to catch something.
Oh my god.
That was wild,
Holy
dude. I did
shit.
not. That was not a fun time.
That had to be a weird drive home. You know, like the rest of the day, your adrenaline's going, and you're just like, "Holy fuck, I can't believe that happened." Then on the ride home, you kind of settle down a little bit, like, "What did I just watch?"
I don't even think I turned the radio on. I think I just cruised home.
Just a silent ride.
Oh, dude, it was ridiculous. I was just like, I can't believe that I just saw that.
You know some shit hit the fan at work when you're driving home in silence.
bro, for real.
I always feel horrible when I hear about a work accident, especially a death, because it's like, I mean, like, I like my job, but I would hate to die at my job. Like, what a bad way to go out at work. You know, like,
Well, and it sucks too, because like a lot of these bigger complexes that have huge elevator shafts, there's deaths that happen all the time.
I've heard that. I've heard that like working on elevators is one of like the
Yeah.
most dangerous blue collar careers or whatever.
that's why
I don't know where I
they
heard
off the bat, dude, you get paid insane to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
Really?
an elevator guy.
Yeah, you do. You get paid fantastically, but I mean,
You got that risk.
the
Every
chance of you
fuck,
coming
dude.
home is a lot less.
It's like a
than
cop,
normal
dude.
guy.
You just never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave for work, give your wife a kiss, and just hope you make it.
Right, yeah, no, and that's just it too, man. I mean, I try to make my guys as safe as possible. I want to go home and, make sure I have dinner with my old lady and go back to work the next day and save for my guys. So,
Yep. Make sure you have dinner with your old lady, and then you get to go back to work to your young lady.
So let's say you're working on a big commercial building like U.S. Bank Stadium or something like that, where you're up real high. What is a day in the life of a sheet metal finisher? Would that work as a term?
Architectural sheet metal installer.
That sounds
Yeah.
way better. I like that.
That does sound a lot better.
Walk us through a day in the life. Like,
So I'll use my Fargo job as an example because that's a huge building going up in Fargo. I believe it's a Swedish like apartment condo complex there. So my day to day, we get there, we start snapping lines, laying out where everything is gonna go, for the trim wise, making sure that everything is as plumb as it can be. That's referring to that framer's math. So with that is we have to make everything look the same, no matter how much of a gap, no matter how much of a bump, we have to work with it. So then we snap lines, we get everything ready. By then the materials should have been ordered on the site. Now we're assembling everything. Now we're assembling the trim, drip cap for the windows, J channel for the windows, doors, wherever we're going with it. And then we figure out where we're going with all the panels, where our material's going. And then we just start banging panels up, figure out a layout. And
how many guys are you working with, like, that you're actually doing your task with on the daily basis?
Yeah, I was wondering that because, like you said, a lot of these are commercial. Are these like really big job sites, or are you guys typically the only people on the job site also?
they're pretty decent sized. We work a lot with like the framers because when we're on the job site, we're finishing, we're following everybody. So as they're finishing the building, we're coming back with them and doing the finishing touches and working a lot with the framers and the deck builders, window installers, door installers, just to make sure everything is going according to plan. And normally it's just one, maybe two guys if he's a new guy, but normally it's just one guy per section. So like if it's me and 3-4 other guys, those 3-4 other guys are doing other materials. So like hardy siding, they're doing the trim work, they're doing the layout, they're doing the flush panels, the composite panels, they're doing the coping and the keepers. Somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
As with any trade, the finishing work is also very stressful because if something gets messed up, if something gets scratched, if something gets dented, that's on you. Mm-hmm. What's some of like the biggest fuck ups that you've had as a finisher?
I've seen this job was already like 3.5 months behind, and open up this crate. It was supposed to be the material, wrong color.
Damn.
and we waited like 3 or 4 months for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and that's like
oh.
it's one thing when you're working residential, I would imagine, because then you can kind of like convince them to be like, okay, what do you think of this? If you don't like it, we can send it back. But like if you do like it, we can just use this. I imagine commercial, you can't do that.
No, not
It's
really.
like, this is what we're using, so send that shit back.
Yep. So I was working on a U.S. bank in Des Moines, Iowa, and there was supposed to be these aluminum composite panels that were supposed to have like a wood finish to it, look like wood, but they were just slate gray. And yeah, so we called the job soup, and he said, nope, we can't do anything. So I drove 5 hours for nothing.
Damn.
Drove all the way back home.
Yeah, that's a nice little commute to figure out that you're not going to be able to work.
I mean, I got paid for it, thank God.
Nice.
You ever drop like a tool from the lift or something and just watch it go all the way?
I was doing some outside corner posts, and I had my speed square just so I can snap lines, make sure everything is decent and my trim is running the way that it needs to. Forgot, because I have a magnetic speed square and a non-magnetic speed square, and they're the same brand.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the wall, let go of it, thinking that it was my magnetic one. Nope. Dropped like 200 feet.
That has to be lethal at that point, too.
Yeah, I honked the horn and yelled as much as I could. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. Nobody was around, but yeah.
Because even tools come in, like we do chimneys, so sometimes we're a couple stories up. And if a tool falls from there, that shit gets crazy. That hits you, you're going down.
I've seen tape measures come down. I've seen flat bars. I've seen hammers.
Any pianos?
No. I hope to God that I never see any panels.
No, piano.
Or pianos, I'm sorry.
Like cartoon style, landing on the sidewalk.
He flattens and then comes up and like he's like a spring for a second.
If someone falls, do they hover for a few seconds like on Looney Tunes?
I wish that was the case, but I have a feeling they just kind of...
I think once you get over 500 feet, you get that little like fake round, like, and then you fall.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't plan on falling 500 feet anytime soon. So
yeah, well, that's good. I mean, have you ever witnessed one of those like what do they call them? The baskets, like that they're going up on the skyscrapers in. What is that?
The swing stage?
Yeah, swing stage. Have you ever witnessed one of those drop it?
I haven't witnessed any of them, but you search on YouTube, you can find ones like cable snapping and they're just kind of dangling by one cable or something. But that's why we implemented the safety ropes with the attachments to them so we can hook our harnesses to them. So if that does happen, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're just going to dangle there.
I saw this video of these guys. I want to say it was in like Dubai. So I saw this video. They're like cleaning the windows, and they're on a swing stage, and it's like coming away from the building and smashing into it. It was like super strong winds, like 20, 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds.
So with that, even with just a little breeze when you're up that high, I mean it swings you out quite a bit. So a lot of times what guys will do, is they'll have like these suction cups for like windows and tie the basket to it.
Oh my God.
So you're putting a lot of faith in that little suction cup.
Hell no. Dude, I get scared going on a chairlift when I'm snowboarding. Like I get high.
Dude, I get anxiety
from
from that, bro. I get exactly what you're saying.
I do too. Like I'm actually genuinely afraid of heights, and like being 20 feet off the ground freaks me out, let alone being 700 feet up.
We both know a guy that at his job where he does drywall, I believe, and he was up on a lift way high up, and the lift malfunctioned, and he was harnessed in, and it went like up and down, and it went down, it shot him up in his harness, and then it threw him back down, and then it went up again and threw him back down, and he like broke his leg and shit. He had to go right to the hospital.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine. That sucks.
Well, in that instance too, I mean, we put a lot of faith in our, the lift technicians. Whether it's Duke, Titan, or whoever you go through.
I didn't even think of that.
But you're hoping that they're doing their job to make sure that everything is as safe as they can make it and working accordingly.
Yeah. Are they operating it while you're up there? Like they're
No.
Okay,
No.
so they just drop it off.
Yep. So what'll happen is like they'll drop it off. Yeah, we're gonna rent it for X amount of months. But if anything breaks, like a hose or something like that, a lot of my guys, they'll go around in the morning and do like a quick check, make sure there's nothing leaking or anything like that. But if there is, we notify them right away, and that lift is not usable.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, especially I mean when you're going like using it to its full extension.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I would imagine you really got to look these things over. Like you really got to be careful because you're putting your life in this rental basically.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
And I am not the nicest with these rentals, so I can only imagine what somebody else operates them at. And I mean, I try to operate it as safe as I can, but there's been times where, you know, I hit a pothole or something like that and everything bounces. And
You know, they're actually kind of fun. We rented a scissor lift for the studio here when we were first moving in to get like our beer fridge and the couch and everything up from the back patio area. And going up and down in that thing really fast, it's fun. Especially if the people in the basket with you like don't expect it to be happening. So you can get that thing jumping a little bit, you know? It's kind of fun. I could only imagine you got an apprentice with you.
oh man,
It's like, oh no. You start messing with them. That'd be awesome.
So I'm still an apprentice. I'm in my 4th year. I graduate in like April or something like that. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So I had a younger apprentice, 1st year, 2nd year. I can't remember what he was. I asked him if he's afraid of heights. He said no. I'm like, well, good, because we're going 193 feet in the air. He's like, yeah, all right, cool. We get about 50 feet, and he's grabbing both ends of the basket. I could feel him shaking. So then I stop, and I'm like, what's wrong? What? You're not that high, dude. And he's like, I haven't been up this high. Okay, well, like I said, the worst thing is going to happen to you. This thing malfunctions, something, you get dumped out, you're just going to dangle there. That's the worst that's going to happen. Yeah. And then by that time, somebody's going to notice you fucking not in the basket, and they're going to manually bring you down. Yeah, you'd hope. But that's the worst thing that's going to happen to you if for some reason you decide to hop out of the basket.
Yeah, I would imagine you get humbled pretty quick if you get dumped out of a basket.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I've, I was on a 65-foot boom lift, and I just needed to barely get up, so I hopped on the side. I shouldn't be saying that. But
you hopped up on the railing.
I hopped up on the second part of the railing.
Oh.
And my foot slipped.
Oh.
I was praying to every higher power known to man at that moment. But thankfully, I was able to climb myself back into the basket.
Did you end up having to go home because you had to go get some clean underwear?
Oh, yeah, I thought about it a couple of times, but I didn't tell anybody about it because I didn't want to get sent home.
Yeah, Jason, why do you smell like shit? I just almost fell out of the basket, dude. Leave me alone.
Well, and when you're doing something like that, you already know you're doing something that you're not supposed to. So then when your foot slips, then everything's got to be running through your head. Like, I'm fucked. I'm going to die. I'm going to get fired. Like,
this is what those videos are about in those meetings, right? Like,
oh, yeah,
that
definitely.
is the example.
Yep. No, and that's just it, too. It's don't take safety for granted. I can't stress that enough. You're going to get guys, you're going to get a lot of older guys saying they're going to call you a pussy or whatnot. But at the end of the day, one, you're not going to want to dangle 100 feet in the air. And two, you want to go home.
You want to be able to go home and have dinner with your old lady.
Exactly, yeah.
So, one of my favorite things to ask the guys here for the Blue Collar Happy Hour, shout out bringing back the Blue Collar Happy Hour.
Shout out.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any tradesmen that you have beef with that like they can fuck your job, make your job harder, or you just don't even fucking like them?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I've had beefs with like electricians.
Them bastards.
Because I mean, they don't give a shit about the guys that are doing the shit outside. They just fuck them. We'll just do our shit and they can work around it. Makes my job a lot harder. If I'm on the ground, fuck landscaper guys because they're just
Mexican.
Well, no,
Just kidding. Keep it in.
Really?
no.
Cody told me to say it.
And plumbers. So we're dealing with a situation right now where the plumbers I literally heard the foreman say, fuck them, we're not the siders, we're going to do our job and get the fuck out of here. Which is fine, I understand that, but we got shit to do.
Also, find some pants that fit you. You don't need to be showing that every time you're leaning under the sink. Come
Seriously,
on.
it's fucking pathetic at this point.
Unreal.
Like, you've been getting made fun of for at least 50 years. Fucking figure it
You
out.
have a belt and we still see your ass? Grow up.
Fucking plumbers. Dude.
We got to get one out here so we can just
I've been trying, dude.
Get on
I've
him
been
about
trying.
that,
I'm not
dude.
going to out him on the pod, but I've been texting this plumber for the past, I'm going to say 6 months
Damn.
to get him on. And we talk about other things, but every time I mention it, he just ghosts me, just leaves me on red until I text him about something else. And then he'll respond. And then I mention the podcast and he
Well, it's because he
ignores
knows
me.
he's gonna get ripped.
Probably. Maybe that's a bit. We do get a plumber on here. Maybe we like make it a whole bit to like get him a pair of pants.
that'd be funny. I
That
like
fits
that.
him.
Or just assless chaps. If you're going to do it, just go all the way, okay?
So we don't fuck with the electricians, the plumbers, or the landscapers. That's good to know. What are trades you get along with? Anyone you guys work hand in hand? You're like, these guys are cool.
Installers and roofers.
The roofers. Roofers are cool guys.
Yep.
They'll give you a cigarette. They usually
Yeah.
got a pinchy on them.
Yeah.
Sometimes the concrete guys. We work a lot with the concrete guys and pavers.
Bunch of losers.
So, yeah.
Shout out Bean Boy.
Doesn't take a fucking genius to lay concrete.
Yeah. What does Mitch say? If you can't finish high school, you can always finish concrete.
Hell yeah.
Word up.
Shout out
Amen.
Travis LeMay. That's all he fucking knows, man.
Shout out Travi. My boy.
Shout out Travis. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's interesting for me because you're in the Carpenters Union, but you don't work with wood, which also still freaks me out. I can't grasp my head around that. I can't wrap my head around that concept. What union are you part of?
Local 322. So when you think of carpenters, you think of banging up walls, dealing with wood, lumber, and all that stuff. But it's actually, carpenters is more of an umbrella. So how I can describe it is we're a jack of many trades. And so when I say that is we have guys, carpenters, that work in the concrete. We have guys that work highway heavy, building bridges. We have guys on road crews. We have guys doing doors and windows. We have guys doing roofing. We have guys doing siding. We got guys doing layout. We got guys doing excavation. So being a carpenter,
You got carpenters that are excavating?
yeah, they're
It's wild.
I don't think those pussies belong in there. Shout out Tyler.
a lot of them do layout for like foundations.
Okay.
And where retaining walls are going to be and where precast is going to be, and they're all, a lot of the times is when there's a carpenter out there, they're building forms, seismic pans, or they're laying out where everything is going to go exterior wise.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Now, is there ever any like friction in the Carpenters Union of like you're not a real carpenter, like you're this, like you do the pretty work?
Not necessarily. I mean, I've given some guys that I go to school with shit because a lot of them are wood framers and deck builders and stair builders and whatnot. But all in all, I mean, we're shooting for the same goal. We're working for the same thing.
Yeah.
Hefty retirement, and
Right.
hopefully we don't bust our bodies up too
Right.
much so we can enjoy it.
Yep. Trying to get two birds stoned at once is always the goal.
Well, I think that's the beauty of your work is you need to be smart to do it. So you have that value, you have the skill, but you don't have to waste your body.
Right. So
And that's like when it comes to construction, I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing on it is like, oh yeah, you'll make the money, but your body's shot by 40.
right,
100%.
exactly. So I want to actually shout out my uncle and my grandfather because growing up, I didn't have really that male figure in my life, and those two made me the man I am today. You know, they taught me that nothing's going to get fucking handed to you. You're going to work your ass off for it.
Right.
And shout out to my uncle. He pushed me to go to the Carpenters Union when I came back from the military. And I can't thank him enough. There's no words that I could say that could express my feelings towards him and my grandfather. So
you're safe to say you made the right decision.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you,
yeah,
You don't
I-
think to yourself like this sucks. I wouldn't recommend this.
I can say that I love my job.
That's sweet. I think you're kind of the rarity because a lot of these blue collar guys that we get a chance to talk to and they tell us about their stuff. They're like do it for as little as you can and get out as fast as you can, make the most you can.
Right.
You know, that seems to be kind of synonymously their opinion on it. But I mean, it's refreshing to see someone that like really genuinely enjoys their job. And I think that's important when you get into that finishing work too, because like you have to make it look good. So if you don't enjoy doing it, like a lot of times that shows, you know,
and your name's
you're the
on
last
everything.
line of defense.
Yep. Like I said, your name's on everything. So we can go back. I can go back on all the projects that I've done throughout the companies that I've worked with, and I can proudly say, yeah, I've worked on that building.
So in the line of work that you do, what's like a starting wage? Like what is like a reasonable amount of money for someone to be making in this line of work? I genuinely just have no idea.
So I actually have a wage sheet on my phone. Commercial carpenters, which is the sheet metal workers that we do. I do all commercial work, so it's commercial pay scale. I think bare minimum, zero experience, just green as green can come. I think you're starting out just shy of 27 an hour. I think it's like 20. I think it's like 26.83 an hour, which is, you know, if you're an 18, 19-year-old kid,
that's great
with
money at
no
18.
skills.
Yeah, with no skills, no skills at all. That's what you're making, and that's not including your benefits, your retirement, your pension. I think
Vacation probably.
so. With the Carpenters Union, we don't have like PTO or nothing like that. We actually go through it's a credit union, and X amount of dollars an hour that we make goes into an account for us, and that's called a rainy day fund. So if you don't work, there's a week that you're laid off, you can dig into that, and that's kind of your PTO. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
So that's how we deal with that.
Do you get laid off in the winter with your type of work being in Minnesota?
Nope.
So that shit must get sketchy if
Yeah.
it's snowing, are you still out there or are they calling it off?
Yep. So it depends on. I worked in the polar vortex last winter. And
Damn, so it was like -40.
Yeah.
And you're out there busting.
Yep.
Holy shit.
I
dude.
was on a fucking roof installing this standing seam on this like concrete complex. They needed some sections done for the roofing, and I'm up there. Snow's like to my chest, wind's blowing. I got ice on my face, my beard, everything.
Look
You
like
can't
Jack
hear
Frost.
shit. Yeah, you can't hear shit. I sent a Snapchat to a couple of my buddies that are pretty blue collar, and all of them were sitting at home. And after about the third or fourth day, I called it. I don't like doing that shit.
Yeah,
so.
there's only so much gear before you just can't move that you know, like at that point you're just putting on a shit ton of layers.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, how much can you really do? Like in what you do, can you do it with like gloves on either, or do you have your hands exposed?
A lot of times we have to have our hands exposed
Oh, fuck.
because we're peeling stuff back. We're making stuff work with our hands.
A lot of meticulous things.
So I told my guys, if I'm throwing on my bibs and my big Carhartt jacket, it's too fucking cold to wear.
Right. Yeah, because your hands are just going to be out. You can't wear gloves, especially when you're definitely not wearing mittens.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having hand warmers, you know? So you were saying before we started recording that you use a lot of math. Like, what would you describe, what would you describe like your relationship with math, like pre going into this line of work and now?
I was the kind of kid in school. I fucked around a lot. I was only in school for sports, and I hated math. Fucking hated it. Anybody that knows me knows that I hated math. And I remember sitting in math class and saying, I'm never going to use this. And here I am, however many years later, using math. I'm using the Pythagorean theorem. I'm using trigonometry. I'm using geometry. I'm using angles and pitches and...
See, that's what blew my mind. So we were talking a little bit off camera. I was just kind of getting to know what you do a little bit. I had no clue. And when you told me you used the Pythagorean theorem, I couldn't believe it.
It brought you back, didn't it?
You were the first person I've ever heard say that in my entire life. I never even learned how to use. I don't even know how it works.
Yep. It's interesting. Yeah, I never thought that I would ever use it again, but I use it almost every day.
That's insane.
Shout out Pythagorean.
Mrs. Dennis would be very proud.
Mrs. Dennis, yep, she would be very proud.
Oh, she hated me, dude.
Because you didn't know the Pythagorean theorem, probably.
No. Yep. I fucking quit a job that she's my boss, and she did not handle it well, dude.
Oh.
It was weird. We pushed through it. I had her the next year. I didn't get a very good grade.
Go figure.
You know?
Little bit of a side note in my high school education when it comes to math. My wife and I had the same math class in high school. It was a college prep math class, so like college credit for
Y'all
it.
be fucking?
Nope. We actually didn't even like each other at this point. So I would copy her homework, and I made her turn it in for me at the same time, because if someone's getting caught, she's getting caught.
Fuck 'em.
And so we would turn in our work, and obviously same work for both. She ended up getting a D in the class. I ended up getting a B plus.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Bro,
I could be a sheet metal architectural finisher guy, carpenter.
Well,
You know?
we'll see.
as long as Taylor's with you.
As long as Taylor's with me, then I can copy her homework. I did get on the test.
Cody'd be jumping off the lift thing and he'd just be hanging. I needed to get away from her, man. I couldn't take it.
Why is the harness only around your neck? I don't know, man. I have no idea. That's funny. So if someone's interested in getting into your line of work, like what are the steps that you take to do it? Like what is like the training look like? Are you just fed to the wolves, or like how does it work?
Not necessarily. So what you'll do is you'll go to the Local 322's Hall's website. And I believe it's Local 322. You put it in your search bar in Google. It'll bring you right to the home site. And from there, you'll speak with somebody, say that you're interested in the apprenticeship. This is how I did it. Interested in the apprenticeship, they'll get you enrolled. You go do what you got to do, fill out paperwork, do whatever you got to do. It's a 4-year course, and you go to school, I think, 1 week every 3 months. So 1-1, and then you work 3 months, and it'll be your 1-2, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So the aspect of this education program is to get you as well-rounded as a basic union carpenter. And by that I mean is, you know, I work in metal, but if for some reason metal doesn't work, or there's just no work going on, little work, nobody's hiring, I can go and build concrete forms. I can go and do sheetrock.
You can go to the hall. You can get work.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. And then we have a thing called, I don't remember. I think it's called Mix 2020, and it's a big job board. And from there, you can see who's hiring where, doing what. And then from there too, you have an account, and you can say, yeah, I've done this. I've done framing. I've done drywall, doors, windows, blah blah blah, flooring, concrete, all this other stuff, and that's gonna act as your resume in a sense. So
That's cool.
Yeah, the Carpenters Union has a lot of benefits. I don't think that I've really
Good guys in that place.
Oh yeah. And they take care of you.
No time off though. No PTO.
No.
Rainy day though, baby.
Got a rainy day fun. Now in your line of work, we've talked to specifically Tyler was telling us that in his line of work in heavy equipment operation, there is no asking for time off.
No.
Like they give you so much shit that basically you just don't do it. How does it work for you?
So
if you need to get time off for let's say a wedding, how does that work?
I'll just text my boss, hey, I need these days off.
And how does he respond?
And he'll either say yes or no. And if he says no, and I'll just say it's not a fucking request. I'm letting you know I'm not going to be here.
Not a request.
See, I feel like when you work year round though, I feel like that changes everything. Tyler's thing is,
Yep.
we only work 7 months. You can't fucking make it. Fuck you. We'll find someone else that can.
And
yeah,
that's,
I think that's fucked up.
And that's the shitty part about like your concrete guys, your operators, and the guys that work seasonal like that is
They don't care.
Yeah, they're sitting for months on end, and then it's go until the season ends.
Yeah.
So
I think that's like good for your body too, you know, like to just be sitting around doing nothing for that amount of time,
Right.
and then all of a sudden you're switched. Now you're barely sleeping, you're working your body hard, and then you rest for a long period of time, and then you switch. I think that's probably what wears these guys out faster than anything.
Yep.
Is like working so hard for so long and then doing nothing for so long. Like there's like your body's not used to that, doing it all the time.
Right, exactly.
You give it that break. I mean, we all know, especially like a lot of the concrete guys I know, they're busting their ass in the summertime. These guys get skinny, they get lean, they get fit. By the end of the summer, they're jacked. Everyone except for Bean Boy.
Yeah, like, shout out Bean Boy. Every time, I swear to God, every day he's like, he gets done at like 2:00. Union guys, I know. And I'll call him probably around 4, see what's up. He's like, "Oh, I just woke up from my nap." Like, shut the fuck up.
You got a baby at home, right?
He does.
Yeah, weird. You get
I
naps.
need a nap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nap when the kid does. Yeah. But to my same point, you get into wintertime, you get into layoff around here at least.
Right.
Some of these guys, they've gained it all back come January, February, March. And then they go right back to work. That first month of them being back to work.
Well, that
they
was the
always
TCAV
complain about it.
special, dude. TCAV would put on 20, 30 pounds over the winter. By July, he's fucking back. Like, it was a clock every year. And you know what? It's the way of life, brother. That's how you
That's
have
gotta just wear down the old chromosomes.
You got to think too. A lot of these guys, when they're working, heavy equipment, concrete, what have you, they're probably going to the bars a little bit more often than they are during the summertime. So
100%.
They're
More
definitely,
time.
yeah.
You got more time. You just made more money. You got all this extra cash in your pocket because now you have time to spend it. And yeah, 100%. It's just a mixture of free time, not doing anything. So, God, you almost just don't want to say don't get another job, but like maybe go work out or something.
Right,
Keep yourself busy. Don't let yourself spend the money, especially don't let yourself pack the beer weight on.
Or
maybe
when
do. I don't know. It's not that bad.
When work gets slow for me, I mean, it doesn't really get slow, but when I'm working 4 days a week or something like that, I'm a part-time bouncer at Joker's. So that's my second job in a sense.
Yeah, well, actually, we have to hit you up. Would you be interested in working security for our Halloween party? Hey?
This year?
Oh, you want to attend? You're attending.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna
Never
get
mind.
blasted.
Never mind. Yeah, Bean Boy's pointing at himself. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Kick out fucking all the kids that are trying to get in?
gotta kick Bean Babe off the stage.
Yeah, that's his only job is to keep his wife off the stage.
Shout out Bean Babe.
Shout out Bean Babe.
So one thing that I wanted to bring up too, because a lot of people, they can't stand the engineers and the architects. You have to deal with any of them at all? They get on your ass?
Sometimes a lot of the times it's more of job soups, and they're just kind of wondering what the hell's going on. Why is it taking so long? Why is X, Y, and Z happening? And a lot of times it's this is the way of the building.
Yeah, this is how it's
Can't
going,
fucking
bud.
work with
What do
it.
you want to hear?
It's the way of the road.
Yep. And so what's going on up in Fargo, I'll use that as a perfect example. So these fucking framers.
Fucking framers.
Everything is, and maybe it's not even the framers, maybe it's the window installers, but whoever's doing it needs to fucking stop because these windows are so fucked. Like 4.5 inches out of plumb, out of level, and however many inches it is for a double window. But so we got to make that look straight. So that's not happening.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so I've always wondered about that because the finishers are the ones that get screwed because a problem in the
time.
start always multiplies to the end, obviously.
Yep.
So if you ever had to like put up your own like fake framing behind what you're putting up because there's just nothing there that you can put the shit to, or maybe you can't say.
Well, no. So there's a section on that Fargo building that there's like a good 8 inches of just nothing. There's nothing I can screw to, nothing. So I just took a piece of flat strap, which is like galvanized metal, and
Put it right to the back.
Yep.
Yeah, this'll do.
You gotta.
It'll hold enough. So.
It'll hold.
What's morale like around? Are everybody giving each other shit? Because, like, okay, when I think of the classic construction crew, it's like giving each other shit all day. It's the banter. Do you guys get a little bit of that banter in your trade?
It depends on the day, and it depends on how the foreman is feeling. My foreman Todd up there, he's a pretty good dude. Real, let's just bust ass and get the fuck out of here kind of attitude.
Yeah.
But he gives everybody shit. And you're working too slow when you've thrown up 120 panels in a day when the average person throws up like 75.
Right.
And it depends on how everyone's feeling. But I would like to say that for the guys that I've been with, morale's pretty up there. I work with some pretty cool dudes, and they're always down for a good time.
I would imagine there's a couple of after work night little ditties up in Fargo.
Yeah,
huh?
there's a couple of guys that go out and decide to get a pretty good tuned up and
Now, I don't want to give anything away, but there is this establishment by the name of the Northern in Fargo. I don't know if
Okay.
you've ever heard of it, but they do this thing called Tits and Grits on Tuesday mornings, where it's a topless breakfast.
Sign me up. What the fuck, dude? I've never heard of this.
It's a strip club. It is a strip club.
Oh,
They have a
nice.
restaurant. They have a restaurant in it. I've never been to it. I've heard
I don't know.
it's good.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You said
know,
Tuesdays?
Watching,
What's it? Tuesday
Tuesday?
mornings, I think. Yeah.
you got to
Perfect.
think though. I mean, food's not probably sanitary. I don't want to
Yeah,
be in a
that's a good
place where I
point.
just ordered wings.
I don't want
and,
any nipple in my pancakes,
Right.
please. No.
Yeah, stripper didn't shave her pubes the night before, so now I got
Oh,
a fucking
God.
ass load of pubic hair.
Oh,
in my
okay.
wings.
I didn't even. I wasn't even thinking of taking it that far. But
I'm just
that's a
eating my
good point.
pancakes, getting a lap dance and shit. That'd be awesome. I'm all in on this.
Get the syrup on both cakes, man.
It's
Oh
best.
my god.
For an extra 40, can I lick it off you?
Oh my god.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sure that's not the
pervert.
first time they've heard that though.
I've had a friend get kicked out because he was trying to bite her nipple. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, why?
Jesus. Like, what the fuck?
All
bud?
right, all right. Jason, is there anything that we're missing? Is there anything that you want to add in here before we wrap this thing up?
Just if anyone's interested, I know this is kind of the audience this is directed towards. Anyone's interested, go union, non-union. I don't give a shit, but don't always think that you need to go to college to be successful. I would like to think that I'm pretty well off just by being a fucking carpenter. If you're ever interested, please look me up on Facebook, send me a message, whether it's to join the Carpenters Union, roofers, concrete, masonry guys. You know, I know a lot of people in a lot of places, and the work is gonna start flowing here real quick. 'Cause I think they were
Really?
saying like 45% of the workforce is going to be retiring in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
So-
Especially this like skilled labor area.
And we're already looking for carpenters like there's no tomorrow. I know Frana, they're a big general contractor down in the cities. They're looking to hire like probably 80 to 100 people.
Oh, wow.
So companies will put the time in.
Well, if you don't know what you're going to do with your life, I mean, that's a good start.
Yeah,
Sounds like
exactly.
you can get a job.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. And if you got reliable transportation, that's half the battle right there. Just
Well,
show
Bean
up
Boy's
on
out.
time and well, that's why he works concrete. So
Did you finish high school, Bean Boy? he did not. He did not. He's
Jason,
finishing concrete.
thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah,
This is
thanks,
great.
Jason. Hey,
Awesome.
cheers.
Got to learn a lot today.
Hold on. Cheers. And we'll see you again. Thanks
Hell
for
yeah.
coming on again.
yeah,
We appreciate
awesome to
it.
be here.